Okay, recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 26th of July 2011. We closed down about 7 today, 13.26.25, 1.4 million contracts traded. Ended up being a white down bar, better volume, just showing there was kind of extreme selling today. Interesting, if you look at the 15-minute chart, this 13.25 type level has been absolutely key. Monday's open, Tuesday's close, kind of holding this level each time we kind of come into 25, we get a spike in volume. So a lot of volume kind of changing hands there. Question, is it going to kind of hold? If we look at just a 27-minute chart, just an example, just shows better sine wave on this last kind of few days down. This is kind of Thursday, Friday's activity, then Mondays and Tuesdays. You can see it's like a stair-stepping down type pattern. This is complex correction. These usually resolve with a break and a trend move in the opposite direction. So you're going to be interested to see kind of if 25 holds and we kind of break to the upside tomorrow, or do we have a final spike down and break the upside? Again, directionally, I think we're just incredibly news driven at the moment, so it's not worth sticking your neck out. Just a point on better trend today. The adjusted trend value today was plus 62, which shows net buying today, and quite a high value as well. So that's kind of interesting. The trend oscillator is not turned over. It's still in an uptrend. It is overextended, but it is still kind of pointing up. So let's kind of wait and see what happens there. Had a good day's trading for me. I had one shot, one kill, first trade of the day, and then kind of came back in for a small 1.5 point trade after that. Pre-open, this is the close on Monday on the 500 tip bar chart. Had a huge amount of volatility. This was all kind of, this is President speaking, Boehner speaking, blah, blah, blah. And then coming into the open, you can see we had this kind of retrace that ended up with an end of trend signal up here, and then we started selling off. Initially, it was difficult to know which way to go. We had professionals kind of coming in at this low and then coming in at this high. You can see the blue professional bars high and low, with exhaustion buying and selling at both points here. But when we had this little retrace back here, this retrace you can see was being led by the amateurs. I'll just blow this up a little bit. So this retrace was being led by the amateurs. Amateur up bar here, amateur testing bar, bang, that's where I got short. And then we immediately kind of came back. Just a note on that, it was actually on the 1500 tip bar chart right there, which is a bounce off a support level. And often kind of when we're breaking into a trend move, support becomes resistance, so we kind of push into there, becomes resistance. We actually come back and test again, but it was an amateur up bar there, and you can see that on the 500 tip bar chart too. All this activity, amateur up bars here, professionals, lows of those professional bars get taken out, bang. It was a Rambo pattern, no demand and cyclical turn all at the same point. So it didn't have to take too much heat on that, and it just sold off really quite nicely. So I picked off my 4 points basically from here to here. And then we had the news release. We had the consumer confidence, new home sales, kind of a lot of jiggery pokery after that here. And then we kind of ended up with an end of trend down here on the 500 tip bar chart, and on the 1500 tip bar chart was a beautiful end of trend warning signal here. We'd had our exhaustion selling coming into this kind of leg down here, and so this second leg down into end of trend, you can see, was all amateur down bars, ending up with two little Rambo patterns side by side and bullish divergence. And because we've had our exhaustion selling prior to this kind of testing move, that end of trend usually kind of will stick. And then if you're not confident to get in at that point, which is a gutsy play, kind of just waiting for the second cyclical turn after end of trend. And you can see here it happens with a bullish divergence signal here right on the zero line. Talk about bullish divergence patterns or bearish divergence patterns right on the zero line, show kind of equilibrium. The market's going to break into a trend move, and then you can see each time we kind of came back down to test those lows. First of all, professionals kind of come in there, and then the amateurs kind of being wrong-footed right there, and then we take off to the upside. So it's an interesting day. Must admit, the pattern that kind of got me flummoxed, not that I was trading, I'd taken my true trades, been done for the day, was this activity here on the 4500 tip bar chart. You can see this whole series, I think there's 5 in a row, professional blue bars coming into these highs with exhaustion buying at that point. Market kind of sells off, and then we have exhaustion selling here with the amateurs down at the bottom, and then we retrace all the way back to have a bearish divergence signal, and then the market kind of tanks after that. This move back up was about 2.25 points here, enough to run a whole bunch of stops at this point here, and then the market kind of sold off. Interesting activity on the 1500 tip bar chart. It was a little bit more obvious what was happening there. You could see the first time we came into this, exhaustion buy and blue professional bars kind of sold off, tested back up with Rambo patterns, and then next time we came in, all these blue professional bars, bearish divergence, and we kind of sold off. Thing to do is to wait for, particularly on the 500 and the 1500, is to wait for divergence patterns, not just using the exhaustion signals. So this low is formed after we get divergence, and this high is formed after we get divergence here. So where are we going from here? Frankly, I think it's just so news driven. We're just going to have to wait and see kind of going forward. No, dollar index kind of collapsed today. We're certainly seeing it on the news here in Australia. The Aussie dollar is almost back up at 110. Extraordinary kind of move. Don't know how far that's going to go, but wouldn't be surprised if we kind of get a good news out of Washington and break to the upside temporarily at least. So anyway, hope your trading went well today. Looking forward to Wednesday. Okay, just gone short 31.75. Just checking my stops and targets. The reason for getting short, a little bit of volatility first thing this morning, and we've got kind of exhaustion selling, exhaustion buying, 500 tip bar chart, kind of blue professional bars kind of at both ends are here, so which way is the market going? But this last little retrace back into 32.5 led by the amateurs. This last little tick up into this cyclical turn was an amateur up bar there. Doesn't look like it was up, but it was just kind of momentarily going up at that point. We're below cyclical resistance on the 1500 tip bar chart. Now we're trying to find a bottom here with blue professional bars kind of coming in, certainly on the 4500 tip bar chart. Or they could just be getting set for the day, so kind of who knows. So we're kind of below support here, kind of gauging off that, and below this one here. Anyway, so let's see if we get a little bit of a run to the downside, short 31.75. Okay, just a minute later, we've come back up to 33. Kind of hit 31, blue professional bar kind of comes in, and then the amateurs kind of led the way. Then a couple of blue professional bars kind of came in, we broke above the highs of that. But then into Rambo pattern here, cyclical resistance, so we're kind of swinging back down, and this move looks like an up move on the 15 led by the amateurs here. So still willing to hold short. The last exhaustion signal on the 500 was buying signal, so yeah, this is better. We'd expect something on the downside, so here we go. We're going to crash to new lows, and hopefully this will run a little bit instead of the you get a line like this in bullish divergence or bearish divergence signals like this, that usually finishes up with some kind of flush pattern after that, flush or exhaustion. It's like normally they don't kind of just keep on creeping up like that. There's usually some kind of jagged edge to it. So anyway, we're down in the 1330s down here, which is good, so still holding short. Okay, it's the first blue professional bar on the 500 tip bar chart at these lows, exhaustion selling. Still think we're going to kind of get a downdraft down at 27.75 profit target, so still holding short. Okay, just had pro-cycle exit coming on the 1500 tip bar chart with that professional bar, but it was actually in kind of an up bar there, so still think this has got to end up with at least something like a pullback to end of trend on the 500. Yeah, this could be a cyclical resistance kind of coming in now on the 500. So still holding short, hoping for that 27.75. Bingo! 27.75. Out for 4. Nerve-wracking. I hate holding through that kind of volatility going on here, but last few days trades, I suppose, I've been jumping out way too early, so decided to stick it out, and it worked. So one shot, one kill. Short 31.75, out 27.75 on the target. So we got a little bit of bullish divergence coming in on the 500 tip bar chart. Kind of got blue professional bars kind of coming in. Got to see a pullback to end of trend here, and we're well below cyclical support on the 1500 tip bar charts. This has got to find a pullback to end of trend. So yeah, we're going even further, so that's interesting. But it's 8:55 a.m. Consumer confidence and new home sales coming out at 9. Shit, it's just gone to 26.75. Oh well. I think I'm so bloody smart getting out at 27, holding through that volatility, and it keeps on going. Anyway, don't like holding through news releases, particularly because it's overextended right at the moment, so could easily get some kind of bounce on the consumer confidence and new home sales. Anyway, so that's good. One shot, one kill out for 4. Just going to watch it and see what happens. Got a 27.75. Data is really bursting at the moment on TradeStation. Huge amount of volatility over this consumer confidence, new home sales numbers, 9 a.m. Pulled back all the way to 1330, kind of formed a pullback and a downtrend here. And blue professional bars kind of coming in here, but this is a downswing, pullback and a downtrend on the 1500 tip bar chart implying here. I suppose the last couple of bars down have been kind of amateur down bars, don't like that. We've just found end of trend here. You can see this thing is just not coping well under this kind of surge in activity at the moment. So hoping for this support level to get busted, and then we'll kind of go to new lows, I would hope. Just kind of amateur bars down here, Rambo patterns, not good. Let's see. Literally 20 seconds later we're down at 26. Big push down, amateur down bar, but it is a Rambo pattern holding out for cyclical cross on this 1500 tip bar chart. It just moved up the profit target to 24.75. The reason for doing that is we've got this cross kind of happening shortly. 2 Rambo patterns kind of into these lows. So just hoping for one little swing back down. Out at 26.25. For what is that? I think it was just 1.5. That's okay though. The reason for getting out there was end of trend coming up on the 1500 tip bar chart. Just that little kind of push out. I know there's no blue professional bars kind of down here, but this is going to be some kind of bullish divergence pattern, maybe a flush signal here. And you know, this whole move down been led by the amateurs, so I always think that's a little bit suspect. So short 27.75 out at 26.25 for 1.5. So that's fine. Had 4 in the first trade, 1.5 on the second. I'm happy with that. Let's quit there today.